everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome aboard to this week's cruise chat. We're going to be meeting with Vicky from Gauguin Cruises, and we're going to be looking at their amazing French Polynesian itineraries. That is the only place they go. They are deeply immersed into that culture, and it is so fascinating because they know it inside and out. They've been doing it for 25 years, so it is your best choice for going into the Polynesian islands. If you enjoyed this week's episode, please remember to subscribe to our channel. Over to the cruise chat. Everybody, and welcome to this week's cruise chat. I'm Kathleen Penner, owner of Plenty of Sunshine Travel, and today I'm joined by Vicky, and I'm really excited to be meeting with Vicky for the first time. Vicky is from Gauguin Cruises, and I'm really excited because French Polynesia is always so beautiful. It's, every time you see it, you just dream about going there, and that's exclusively what you do. So I'm really looking forward to having this brand overview with you and just to learn more about your cruise line and all the great itineraries that you sail to. And as we're going through this presentation, if you want any more information, please reach out to me at info@plentyofsunshinetravel.com. But I'm just going to turn this over to Vicky, and I'm really excited to learn together. So over to you.
Thank you, Kathleen. Thanks. I really appreciate the opportunity. Yes, I'm the Director of Sales for Paul Gauguin Cruises in Canada. And I thought we'll go through just a bit of a brand overview today. Everything from where is French Polynesia, why you want to go to French Polynesia. I love that you said, people in their mind, they picture this destination and they just want to travel to it very much so. And I'll tell you, every picture you've ever seen, the actual destination is more beautiful than that. And anyone who's ever been will tell you that. It's almost like words can't describe how beautiful this destination is. So in saying that,
so pretty.
I'm going to try and, say some things and show you some pictures to hopefully get you excited about traveling to French Polynesia as well. So our ship is the MS Paul Gauguin. We've been in French Polynesia for 25 years now. It actually, I don't know if you know, but we're the longest single deployment of a luxury vessel in a destination. So no other cruise line has ever had a ship in a destination this length of time. And it was purposely built for the islands of French Polynesia with a shallow draft. So the draft is more or less the ship underneath the water, but that's what gives us the ability to get up close into the destination like that. So you'll often see pictures that we have of the vessel, and you'll see how close we are into the island. So that's one of the many, many benefits of being on board a small ship like this in French Polynesia.
Absolutely. And I love that you center on those islands because, you do that, constantly for 25 years. So you're absolutely the expert of that area. And you're going to be able to have those relationships with the people who live there, as well as, knowing the locations and everything else perfectly. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, more so than thinking about us as being a cruise line, think of us as the destination. And then the ship just happens to be a great way to see this destination. So you'll see as you see our itineraries and just the things we do on board, we very much focus on the islands of French Polynesia. And the official name of the islands, I thought we'll do a little bit of geography here. The official name of the islands is French Polynesia. It's a little confusing because often you hear us refer to them as the islands of Tahiti. I think probably just because Tahiti is the most well-known, and it's the economic center of French Polynesia. But there are a group of 118 islands. They take up an area in the ocean the size of Europe, but the landmass is only the size of Prince Edward Island. So, we've always said social distancing comes easy in French Polynesia.
That's a good point.
Very few people, lots of space, very pristine destination.
Gorgeous.
And I think it's a good comparison to look at where Hawaii is in the world compared to Tahiti. Hawaii is north of the equator, about the same distance as Tahiti is south of the equator. Often I get people that will say to me that they're thinking Fiji and Tahiti are close together, but they're actually 4,000, I think it's 3,500 kilometers apart from each other. So they're actually quite a distance apart. We offer direct nonstop flights out of Los Angeles. So it's an 8-hour nonstop flight out of Los Angeles. There's also nonstop flights now out of San Francisco. And Air Tahiti Nui has direct nonstop flights out of Seattle as well, which is it's a great airport to be able to connect through. So it's just a nice international airport and easy connections for Canadians and North Americans.
Yeah, that is nice. I really love traveling places nonstop because you're pretty much having a better chance of your luggage making it with you. So it's just one of those things. It's like, if I can fly nonstop, I absolutely will. And that's great that you've got the nonstop locations
Yeah.
too.
The other statistic that I think is really that says a lot is Tahiti in a year receives the same amount of tourists as Hawaii does in just 7 days. So
Oh,
that's what it's all about, is just this beautiful, pristine paradise.
goodness.
Now, the secret to our success is the size of this vessel. It's large enough to offer a luxury experience. It's almost 20,000 tons. So it's actually quite large. It's just that we never put any more than 330 guests on board. So, and then again, you can see here how close we are into the destination like this.
So that gives you a
70%.
really good guest to space ratio then. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's 58 actually is our space ratio. So lots of open deck space,
Mhm.
lots of larger public areas as well. And 70% of the vessel is balcony. Everything else is outside, of course. You don't want to, no one would want an inside stateroom in French Polynesia.
I
So you
agree.
have a view regardless of where you are on board the ship. And it is thanks to our all-inclusive nature that our guests arrive, and it's just so easy because everything's been taken care of. We include all of the non-alcoholic beverages, so your specialty coffees, bottled water, sodas, all of those things, of course. But then we also include the alcoholic beverages, so top shelf liquors, wines, beers, spirits, open bar all day. We also have the gratuities included, so you get this lovely, gracious service without the expectation of a gratuity. And we
Perfect.
did a dry dock actually about a year and a half ago. And at that point, we also included the Wi-Fi on board. So I think that the easiest way to think about us is we include everything except shore excursions.
Mhm.
But then I'm going to show you, and spa treatments.
Mm.
But I'll show you a couple of the islands that we have our own private retreats that rarely would anyone do an excursion in those destinations. And the other thing, we always have the tenders that take you into the islands. Often you'll
Mhm.
see, except for in Papeete, which is the economic, the international where the flights fly into, we are tendered. So it's the small boats that take you into the islands. This is where it's important that you're so close into the islands, so you don't spend a lot of time tendering back and forth.
And being such a nice sized ship, it's not going to take, an hour or so to get through that queue to get onto the tenders either. So you're really
Oh,
transporting people fast. That's great.
you've got that absolutely right.
Yeah.
Like I know some cruise lines put more people on their tenders than we put on our ship, right? So that's like our tenders are just constantly going back and forth. So I mean that's the whole experience on board. There's no lineup or waiting or nickel and diming.
Right.
And the other thing that I think our guests really like is that it's a luxurious experience in terms of the food and the dining and the service, but very informal in terms of the dress code. So no formal nights. I don't think anyone wants to bring a tuxedo and a tiara to Tahiti, right?
No, not really.
So during the day, you'll typically, beach wear, and then in the evenings, gentlemen maybe cotton pants and a collared shirt, and
Mhm.
women sundresses. So
Yeah.
it's very laid back, luxurious sort of atmosphere on board. Now, part of what makes this experience so much about the destination is a troop of Polynesians we have on board. The girls, we call them Gauguins, and the boys are Gauguin, and they are your hostesses. They greet you when you arrive. The French Polynesian people are some of the most lovely, amiable people you can ever imagine meeting, and they're extremely proud of their history and their culture, and they love to share it with guests. So everything from when we're in our private beaches, maybe they're teaching how to play a ukulele or tie a pareo or cultivate a pearl, and to evening performances that we have as well. So as much as we want people to come to French Polynesia, we
Mhm.
want you to leave with a true understanding of these people and the culture of this amazing destination. And a lot of that is really achieved through the Gauguins and the Gauguin that we have on board. I think most cruises experience is about the dining and just the service on board. And I know every cruise line tells you that they have exceptional crew, but I'll tell you, our crew are just absolutely amazing. They will remember your name. They'll
Mhm.
remember, the meal you had the night before, what your preferences were, and love to anticipate guest needs. So the feedback we always get, the number one thing is just that the crew were amazing. Many of them have been on board for more than 10 years.
Wow.
And just lovely, amiable people, like I say. So again, part of being about a destination is lots of time in the destination. So you don't want to spend a lot of time on the ship necessarily. You
Mhm.
want to be in the island. And that's why you'll see we have overnights in many destinations. Which all of our cruises have an overnight in Bora Bora. Many
Mhm.
have an overnight in Moorea as well. And I'm going to show you into 2024 and 2025 some new itineraries we have with some additional overnights as well.
Mhm.
In terms of dining, it's all open dining. So you dine where you want, with who you want, when you want. No additional charge for alternative dining. Like, for instance, La Veranda is open for breakfast and lunch. And we have a buffet, but then there's also an amazing menu that you can order off of. You can see lots of big open windows, lots of al fresco dining, so you can dine outdoors. And La Veranda, in the evening, we dim the lights and change the crystal and the china, and it becomes this really cool French-inspired restaurant where we have a degustation, so a tasting menu. If
Mhm.
anyone's a foodie, this is a really good restaurant if you're a
Yeah.
foodie and you like to try lots of different things. I would say any of our dining experiences, really, it's very easy to try many different things because it's small portions, just
Yeah.
absolutely beautifully prepared. But it's very easy to order lots and lots of choices in terms of appetizers, soups and
Awesome.
salads and entrees because the portions are quite lovely. You can have as many as you want, but the portions I think are nice and small.
Yeah, that's good because sometimes you're almost getting full, but you want to try one more thing because it just sounds so good, right? And you don't want to
Yeah,
end up with this giant plate and you're like, oh, I only want a couple bites. So it's nice to
great.
try it and then you don't feel like you're wasting as much. So that's great. I think it's good.
You know, I was funny you said that too, because I absolutely find that I have cruised quite a bit.
Mhm.
I've been in the industry for many years,
Yeah.
but the waste sometimes is just phenomenal to me. And you see very little waste because, like I say, the portion size is reasonable. But if you want to, you can have 10 lobster tails if you want them. But, you know, so if someone likes to have anything specific, they can have that too.
Yeah, no, I agree
So,
with you. I don't like seeing waste either. I think it's unfortunate that it's that way. And I'm glad that, a lot of cruise lines are moving to not having buffets.
yeah.
Just because they
Well,
have to prepare so much and it's just not right.
yeah. Do you know what's always been different with us? We have had buffet, but we've always had a buffet where there's someone that serves it to you. So the
Oh,
waiter actually serves you. Don't People don't take the food
touch the
themselves. But
Mhm.
then you get to the end of the line at the buffet, and someone takes your plate and brings it to a table for you. So
Hmm.
there's not like trays and schlepping around with lots of
Yeah.
food, right? So
Oh, I
it's
think that's
it's
great.
always been individually served like that.
Yeah, I think that's good. And just because, I have limited mobility, so I use a cane quite frequently. And sometimes, able-bodied people don't think about it, but you're holding a cane, you're holding a plate, and you're like, and how am I supposed to serve myself? So I think that that's great that they're kind of doing that in that just because of people like myself and other people who just, they're not sure, do I want a little? And then you just go back and get more of
Yeah.
whatever you want to, right?
I think that's just
So,
part of a luxury experience, right?
mhm.
It's those little touches like that you're right, you don't necessarily think to look for, but it does make such a difference. Even, who wants to be trying to find a table to sit at and you're holding your tray of food and that sort of so no,
Yes, I
it's
agree. Mhm.
now Le Grill is it's a Polynesian fusion restaurant. And in the evenings, here's a good tip for those of you that are going to book soon is that in Bora Bora, we take it out by the pool under the stars. It's always outdoors, but in Bora Bora, the night we overnight out by the pool, which is great. And our
Yeah.
main dining room is called L'Etoile, and L'Etoile is international cuisine, lots of choices and variety. Um, the other options we have for food in suite or in stateroom dining, course by course, you can have anything that's being served in L'Etoile. There's no additional charge for that.
Mhm.
We have a early risers breakfast in one of the areas from about 5:30 or 6 in the morning, where there's pastries and cappuccinos and anything you would want, sort of smoothies. There's a really nice smoothie bar there as well.
Mhm.
We have high tea served daily as well, and then our we have a lavish barbecue on our public beach, our private island. I'll show you. I shouldn't say public beach; it's a private island, not a public beach. I'll show you more about that as well too.
Gorgeous.
Every evening there's a performance. So traditional Tahitian type of performances, usually these beautiful hip swaying dancers. This is the Gauguins again. My favorite actually we do is a crew show every sailing, which is lots fun. Our crew are amazingly talented. And if you're thinking we're just sun and sand, there's so much more,
Mhm.
especially when we have sea days. You see, we have amazing lecturers. But we have lecturers on every sailing. So marine biologists, whale and dolphin experts, anthropologists, all kinds of knowledgeable folks. And you can attend a lecture with them and do an excursion, have lunch with them. They're available to the guests when they're on board the ship as well.
Wonderful.
There is a marina off the aft of the ship, so the paddleboarding and the kayaking is included. Even as we include the snorkel gear, so you don't have to worry about bringing your own snorkel gear with you.
Mm-hmm.
There is a scuba diving program. It's PADI certified. It's the only PADI certified program in the South Pacific. And the great thing about this is we have dive masters right on board the ship. Kathleen, are you a diver?
I do a lot of snorkeling. I don't do actual diving, but my
Yeah.
husband's always wanted to get certified and to do that because we go to so many
Oh,
beautiful islands and what a
yeah.
great place to learn. Like, look at that. Wow.
Yeah, you can get certified actually on board the ship because they are a PADI certified program. But they take the great thing, they take the guests right from the marina and you go out in a Zodiac or a speedboat. We include all of the gear as well. There is an additional charge for scuba diving, but it starts at about $100 for a one tank dive, so it's very inexpensive.
That's reasonable.
And it's good because you go to this destination after destination with the same dive master, which is great.
Okay. Yeah.
Thing I'll tell you, I'm not a diver either. I'm a snorkeler.
Mm-hmm.
The South Pacific and French Polynesia is amazing in that you can stand in the water up to your chest in its bath water, warm water, and see every kind of fish. In Bora Bora, I always do this excursion too, where you see the stingrays and reef sharks, and I mean, you can just be standing with your feet on
Yeah.
the sand in the water and see just amazing marine life.
Beautiful.
Really quickly, I just want to show you our staterooms and suites
Mhm.
just to give you an idea. We did a dry dock just over about 2 years ago, I guess now, and all of the public areas and the staterooms were completely renovated, very understated, elegant, lots of choices and variety. My favorites actually are the grand suites. You can see there's this balcony off to the side here, but then half of the bow of the ship is also your own private balcony in the grand suites, which is lovely. But all of our staterooms and suites, they start at 200 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are 240 and above with the private balcony, and we have beautiful bedding and linens. There's a refrigerator in the room that's replenished daily as well.
Beautiful.
Full bathtubs in all of the staterooms as well. The ship only has two that are just showers. I think there's
Mm-hmm.
three now that are just showers, but they're huge.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it's full bathtubs. You do want a balcony in French Polynesia, I'll just tell
Yeah.
you. So
Mm-hmm.
we have some staterooms that are outside, but you want to wake up in the morning and open the balcony and smell the fresh air and sit out on your private veranda and order room service or spend, afternoon tea or
Mm-hmm.
cocktails or whatever on your private balcony. So I do encourage folks to look at the balcony, which are category C and D and above as well.
Yes. And you probably have to book early to get those. I imagine that they would fill up the quickest out of all the rooms, like the balconies and above, because
Well, yeah, you know what
everybody.
you find, honestly, it's the suites, the staterooms, the owner suite, the grand suites. It's the suites that sell out this quickly because we only have two owner suites and two grand suites on the entire ship. So
Mm-hmm.
when the ship is only 330 guests, yeah, you find that
Yeah.
just a few people booked can make such a difference.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go through this pretty quickly, but I want to talk about sustainable tourism and just the importance of this to a brand like Paul Gauguin Cruises that has been in Tahiti for 25 years. We were purchased in 2019 by Pinot, and Pinot is the only French flagged cruise line.
Mm-hmm.
They have 13 luxury vessels. All of their ships are on the cutting edge of technology in terms of environmental preservation. And so this is just a perfect fit for Pinot to have purchased Paul Gauguin Cruises. And one of the things actually in our dry dock, the most important thing we did was eliminate the use of heavy oil fuel.
Mm-hmm.
Long before people were talking about the sustainability, the French Polynesians have been practicing what they call rahui, and that is a fishing ban, temporary fishing bans that they have had for centuries in the destination. There's been no international fishing license distributed in French Polynesia since I think it was the 1960s.
Oh,
So they've always been, looked at this pristine environment and always felt it was very important to maintain it.
yeah.
And that like Venice has done in the last few years, they're limiting the size of ships that can go into the destination. Same thing, French Polynesia has done that. So any ship under over 3,500 guests can only make a stop in Papeete. And any ship year-round with under 700 guests, so pretty much Paul Gauguin Cruises has preferential treatment and has access to all of the islands. They're limiting the amount of people. There's about 300,000 people that live in the island. They're limiting the amount of tourists in a year to 300,000 as well. So they want to keep this environment so that it's perfect for the local people as well as the pristine for the tourists. It is the largest marine sanctuary in the world, so every type of flora and fauna and marine life you can possibly think of. Even in our dry dock, many things were done, including changing the shower heads so we use less water. Also, we used to hand out paper agendas every day on the different various things that were happening on board the ship. And we have that now on the TVs. You can get it delivered to you if you'd still like it, but that's eliminated paper and copying by 75% on board the ship.
Yeah, because not everybody really reads them. They'd rather look at it on the app or on the TV, and then you can, take it with you if it's on the app, right? Or on your phone.
Right.
You can access it throughout the ship. So yeah, I can see that would save a lot.
Even supporting the local communities, how important that is. Remember, I mentioned the Gauguins and the Gauguin aboard the ship. But one of the lovely things is that these folks work with us for many years, and then they move on to other positions within the hospitality industry in Tahiti. We have folks that work in our marina and guests on the pier as well that are local people. And even the children's program that we have is a conservation program that is works with a turtle sanctuary in the islands as well. Now, we allow children year-round. We don't get lots of kids, but in July and August and December, we get kids. So we have this program for kids 7 through 15, and it's a hands-on interactive learning experience, and it's complimentary on board as well.
That's great.
I'm going to really quickly go through our destinations and the itineraries that we have, but one of the highlights is our Motu Mahana. This is where I said the water's 28 degrees year-round, crystal clear, bath water warm. On one side of the island, you can walk out for 15 minutes and you're up to your chest in bath water, warm water. The other side, there's drift snorkeling. Here we have a lavish barbecue, all the activities from the paddleboards and kayaks from the ship as well. Versus in our private beach in Bora Bora, and the only thing there is sand and trees and a cooler with drinks. We've recently added a few lounge chairs, but everyone used to just take towels and lay in the beach, which is amazing. This picture on the right-hand side is Mount Otamanu. That's the view from our private beach here. And this is iconic. Mount Otamanu is really such an iconic picture that you would see. So this is a great day for everyone taking selfies and just a really amazing day. As much as people think Bora Bora and Moorea are probably going to be the highlights, often people will come back and say, no, it was the private beaches because it was just so pristine.
Absolutely. And you can really see, like you said, the pristine, like you can, as far as the eye can see, it's just beautiful, clear, fresh, really nice looking water. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah. The picture on the right here, you can see, they say that Tahiti has a painter's palette of blues. And you can absolutely see that when you look from the beach, looking out into Mount Otamanu, you can absolutely see that.
Yes.
Lots of people we have that are traveling with us are celebrating a milestone anniversary or birthday, perhaps. And if you are celebrating a honeymoon or an anniversary, we have a Polynesian blessing ceremony where they wrap a traditional quilt around you and they do a blessing, and that's complimentary. Kathleen, you just let us know that the clients are celebrating an anniversary, and we'll make sure that they get an invite to it.
Yeah.
So our itineraries, we used to do probably half our itineraries in a year was a 7-night itinerary, but we've increased the length and duration of many of our sailings. And as much as you might think it's all French Polynesia, each one of these itineraries will sort of charm you in a different way. And there's different ideas on why you would want to take one itinerary over the other. And of course, Kathleen, you'll be able to talk to our reservations people or myself, and we can absolutely help you with recommending the perfect itinerary for us, depending on what they're looking for. But so we overnight in Moorea, we overnight in Bora Bora. We're at our private beach, and then Huahine has cultural significance as well as beautiful white sand beaches as well. We have a new itinerary that we're doing we have a new itinerary as well that we are doing where we we travel to Raiatea as well on a 7-night itinerary, but then we kind of build from there. So into the Tuamotus are very popular for scuba diving and snorkeling. Rangiroa is the second largest lagoon in the world, and Fakarava is a UNESCO World Biosphere. So it's one of only 7 in the world.
Oh, wow. Incredible.
New itinerary as well, we've never done this before, is an overnight in Fakarava. So if you are a diver, this is amazing diving and snorkeling on this itinerary.
Yeah.
The Cook Islands itineraries, I think folks, they like this, the Society Island group of islands. That's one of the group of islands that Tahiti belongs to. And they like that sort of culture along with the New Zealand Maori feel of the Cook Islands. Here you have beautiful, beautiful white sand beaches as well. 2 days at sea. Sometimes I see with folks, it depends whether they love the idea of lots of days at sea, and you'll see as we go on, we have itineraries that have more and more days at sea.
Yeah.
Marquesas are the most remote group of islands in the world. There's more wild horses than there are people in the Marquesas. But the Marquesas have a very rugged coastline. So you get great beaches on the rest of this itinerary, but the Marquesas aren't necessarily known for beaches.
Yeah.
This itinerary, we are only doing it in 2024. We have 5 stops in the Marquesas and 2 maiden calls into islands on the Marquesas. Once a year, we have itinerary that sails into across the international date line. Tonga, I think, is a highlight on this. It's a very difficult destination to get to.
Yeah.
And then into Fiji. And more immersive itineraries into 2025 because we are doing another dry dock in 2025 as well. So as much as 11 days at sea on these itineraries. So that's where you get lots of lectures on board and just time to really just lay back, sit back and just really enjoy everything that the ship has to offer.
Beautiful. Yeah. I'd love to hear, you guys who are watching this, I'd love to hear which itinerary you like the best. So make sure you leave a comment below which one you like, because all of those looked amazing. I'm curious what you guys like.
Yeah. And I'd be interested to know too, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think, some of it, when you start to look at Tahiti is quite an expensive destination, to be honest, once you're there. So when you look at the value of the cruise with the all-inclusive, I think just spend as much time as you can on board the ship and then add on, you can augment it. And we, of course, Kathleen, you can offer pre and post packages as well. So if they want to spend time in advance as well.
Yeah.
I want to just end with talking about price. So we're recording this in August of 2023. So pricing can change. We have what we call a dynamic pricing model. And what that means is the further in advance you book, the better pricing you get. So as the ship starts to fill, the prices go up.
Right.
We have Canadian residence rates are 5% off. Everything we do is in US dollars. But I like to show you our price because I think people spend far more money on less exotic destinations. Sometimes they're thinking because I say we're all inclusive and we're luxurious, people are thinking we're expensive. Right. But we do start at $2,850 US.
Yes.
That includes the port charges, that's per person. And that includes the Canadian residence rate as well. Good. And then with your Consortia Virtuosa that you have, you also have many sailings that you have $100 shipboard credit.
Okay.
And shipboard credits can be used for shore excursions or spa treatments or just even anything in the shop. So that's a nice extra perk that you have through your relationship with Virtuoso.
And that is not bad at all, that pricing. Goodness. I've quoted higher than that for a 7-day Caribbean. For sure. Now, of course, we have the that's a 7-day sailing in and outside stateroom. So we have, remember I said you want the balcony and you want to, the longer sailings as well. So that's our starting price. But you will see it's quite reasonable considering the value of having everything included. Yes. And then we do have various discounts as well right now, and we've had this for quite a while, is our $300 per guest discount. If you've never traveled with us before, it's not a shipboard credit, it's an actual discount over and above. And even solo savings, right now we have many zero single supplements for solo travelers I've listed the dates here, but you can see right into 2025. And we have our itinerary out right till the end of 2025. So that's a lot of different itineraries to choose from. That's great.
Yeah.
A lot of dates.
And it's a very comfortable atmosphere for singles because when you arrive into the dining room, the maitre d' greets you asks if you want to dine with other people, whether you're solo or whether you're a couple. So
Yes.
we do find lots of camaraderie on board. And I think maybe it's because you're a small ship, you see the same people, you maybe did an excursion with them, and then you want to have dinner. So a very camaraderie and a very easygoing experience on board.
Yeah, that's what I love about cruising, and I love about small ship cruising even more is, the solo cruisers don't feel like they're left out, that they're gonna have nobody to talk to the whole time and nobody's gonna pay them any attention. It doesn't work out like that. You go with somebody on an excursion and then you just become, fast friends and you kind of have like-mindedness. And I think that that's awesome.
That's exactly it. It's the
Yeah.
like-minded, because it's very little about age or whether you're single or couples. Like-minded people do the same thing. So if you're a diver, you'll meet many divers. If you
Mhm.
want to just sit in the lounge and enjoy the entertainment or the piano bar or whatever, you do meet the same type of people. So it's
Mhm. Mhm.
very easygoing. Now, Meru means thank you, and I do want to thank you, Kathleen. I appreciate the opportunity to work with you, and just want to say how important it is to work through a advisor that
Mhm.
knows their stuff and can help you out. So I encourage people to speak with you, and I hope to see you all in French Polynesia one day soon.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Yes. And thank you so much for putting all that together. It was great. I love that you did such a great brand overview, and it gives us a really good sample and idea of what you have to offer. And that's incredible. So thank you for taking the time.
My pleasure. Kathleen, if we ever want to do again, if we want to look at maybe a specific itinerary and
Mhm.
really delve deep into, what you would do on a typical 7-day sailing or whatever, I'm
Yeah.
open. So let me know when you get feedback from folks if there's any questions, or we could absolutely arrange another presentation as well again.
Absolutely. I'm booking into January right now. So all of you guys who are watching this, look back in January and we'll find some great stuff that we're going to be talking about again. So thank you. And I hope
Thanks.
everybody has a great week. Goodbye, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Hey, guys. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this week's cruise chat with Vicky. It was really nice to see some of their itineraries. I love that they are the experts in that area. I always say, when you have a niche and you do it so well, that's who you should always book with. I am your cruise expert. I am somebody that you should always be booking your cruises with. And Paul Gauguin is the expert in the French Polynesian area. They've been doing it for 25 years. They've got that relationship down pat. They know what they're doing. And I think that they're just a great, great choice for going on those type of cruises down in the French Polynesian Islands. It's just phenomenal how they've got those relationships, like I said, and how they really know the area and they bring people on board that are local to that area, which really, I mean, that's why you travel, right? You're traveling to learn all about the destinations, and that's just fabulous. And I love Paul Gauguin for that. So that is just incredible. I can't wait to meet with her again in January and look at some of their itineraries. Next week, I'm going to be meeting with Cindy from Norwegian Cruise Line. And we're going to be looking at some of their itineraries, some of their brand new ships that they've got that are just coming out. They have Norwegian Prima and Viva, and those are pretty awesome ships. Those are really good. They're the ones that I recommend. And I'm really looking forward to, talking about some of their fabulous itineraries. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you reach out to me, info@plentyofsunshinetravel.com, and I'd love to get you on board. It would just be amazing because I just really think that Paul Gauguin is the right choice for the French Polynesian Islands. And I can't wait to see your pictures and to hear all about your experiences there. So thank you so much for reaching out to me, info@plentyofsunshinetravel.com, because I'm the one who can get you on board with some special prices and perks as well. So thank you so much. So next week I'll be meeting with Norwegian Cruise Line, and I'm excited about that. So it's great. So I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you next week or on board. Bye for now.